Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kenyan Marekani. This is a platform where we educate you, we highlight stories in America. But today I'm not in America, I'm in the UK. And a lot of people, as you can see, ask me, how can we join military? So today I have an ex-military or a veteran here in the UK. Na alikuwa army. I think this is the hardest. Probably from, I don't know if they have Marines, but army is not easy to join. So welcome to our platform. If you're new here and these stories are good for you, consider subscribing. We not force you, we don't coax you. Consider subscribing if you love these stories, and you can also become our member by pressing the join button. You'll just be paying a small fee. Remember, this video is brought to you by Lemfi. You can use my code Mkenya Marekani for sending money. Lemfi is the best app to send money back home. You can send to M-Pesa, banks. You can send to Lipa na M-Pesa and Paybill. And also you can send up to 5,000 daily. So that's your limit. So let's help me welcome our guest today. He was in the UK Army. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Your name and a quick introduction of who you are.
My name is Peter Getari. They call me Peter Mwangi. You can call me Peter Mwangi as well. I'm Kenyan originally. Live in Farnborough. I was in the British Army, which I joined in 2007. I came to the UK to join specifically the Army. I applied from Kenya. Back in the day, it was easier to join than it is today because it was a case of just applying, going online, putting it. You didn't even have to go online. You just needed to send a letter to the careers office, and they will send you a letter back, and the application process will just go on through the post. But this is about 17 years ago. Things have changed now.
Wow. So were you interested in joining the army, or how did you learn about this?
To be honest, it's not a case of getting interested to join the army. However, my father was in the Kenya Army, so there was that history. I tried to join the Kenya Army when I was much younger, but I was not able to because of the things everyone faces, like in terms of corruption and stuff like that. But later on in life, I was living in Nanyuki, and I got the chance to come to the British Army through somebody I met in the British Army in Nanyuki.
Yeah. So they inspired you to join?
Yes, they did. Obviously, if you know anything about Nanyuki, there is a great history with the British Army, and therefore I knew about it for a long time. And in that case, when I saw the opportunity, I knew a few people who already joined, and I took the advantage of it and applied.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. So when you move now to the UK, was it your first country?
Yes, it was my first. I had never been to any other country before that.
Yeah.
It was my first time to get a visa, first time to get a passport.
Even to get into a plane?
And even to get into a plane.
Wow, what are some of the challenges you faced during that time?
It wasn't easy because obviously I'm not from a rich family. The first time I found out I'm coming here, I told my mom I'm getting a visa, and she was like, "What is a visa?" She had not heard about it before. We didn't have anyone in my country, in my family, who had been out of the country.
You are the first one.
I was the first one.
The person watching this, you will be the first one also to come to UK. Masalaba.
Amen. Yes. I agree. So when I always had a desire to go abroad. When I was growing up, watching TV, I wanted to go to the US because that's most of the American TV we watch. I didn't know about the UK a lot, apart from the football we used to watch. So my desire was to go abroad to the US. But when this opportunity arose, I thought it's all the same to me. And I made the application, and it turned out all right.
Wow.
As you say, what are the challenges? It was, getting a visa at that time. It was easier for people with connections, family ties, money in their family and all that. I didn't come from all of that. So I had to make my way, arrange the sponsor, like get bank statements, get somebody to sponsor me from the UK. But God was faithful that He made it work for me.
Wow, wow. What were some of the requirements to now join the military?
So back then, what happened, the process was clear. So there was an email to the careers office in the UK. You send an email, a post, through the post, and they'll send you back some forms which you are required to fill. So you fill up these forms, tell them your details, your education, and then they will send you another some more forms which you required to go to a doctor, get a medical check from a doctor in Kenya, which I did. And these were basic things like your medical history, if you have any issues going on with your health, your health, your weight, height, and stuff like that. So I did that. That was the easy part because you didn't have to be, nobody was checking. You could have gotten any doctor to do that for you. The hard part was to get the visa because before I applied, I knew a lot of people who had tried in that period, 2005, 6, 7, who had been denied the visa. Because the process was, as opposed to now, you were coming to the UK as a visitor. So you would apply for a visit visa, and therefore you're required to have like the ability to come and sponsor yourself in the UK for however long and live in the UK until you're successful with you're joining the forces. So it was quite hard to get the visa at that time because you needed to prove to the British Embassy that when you come to the UK and you're not able to succeed in the process, you will go back to Kenya.
Yeah.
Which was the hardest thing for most people to be able to do if you are not from a well-off family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. So and then how many years did you serve?
So I joined in 2000 and I came to 2007 May. I stayed about a year without joining. Like the process was quite long, and then I joined in 2008. Served for 9 years. So I left in 2017. Yep.
Was it hard for you to now become a civilian? Totally.
To be fair, not quite, because the army, particularly in the UK, is not as hard as people make it seem to be. It's like a normal job. Besides when you've traveled abroad and stuff like that, or on exercise, everything else is like you have a normal job, 8 to 5. Like myself, I was a mechanic in the army. So in the morning...
What did you fix?
So I trained as an engineer. I fixed all sorts of moving vehicles, like road-wheeled vehicles, and even tanked vehicles, so all sorts. But I primarily worked on trucks as a mechanic.
So do you continue with that or you stopped?
So when I left the army in 2017, I joined the railway where I work as an engineer as well. Yep.
Na mkono yako ndugu ni safi bwana. Wewe ni mechanic kweli?
You know what? Hizi zile siku mechanics walikuwa wanachafua mikono sana. We have gloves nowadays. Na pia ukienda Kenya utapata watu wana gloves. Lakini ukinipata kwa job pengine mikono zitakuwa chafu kidogo.
Wow. That's amazing to know. And choosing that career, did you have to pass, like, you know, in army in America you have to pass ASVAB with certain points for you to select that career?
Yeah, so what happens in the UK army, when you come to the UK, as I said, you're not guaranteed any job.
Yeah.
So it depends with a test that you do at the beginning, which was called the BAB test. But during that period that I came, they wanted to channel most of the people that were joining to the infantry. I think that's what the US called the Marines. But and that was kind of the harder job to do, and that's where they needed most people because during the Afghanistan war. So we had this BAB test. When I did the BAB test, I was given an option to either join the RIMI, which is engineers, or become a dental assistant, or go to the infantry. So I chose to do that based on the test that you did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Would you tell somebody to join a military, encourage them to join or not?
I'll certainly do. There's a lot of misinformation out there about it. It's not as bad as people think. It's a job like any other, especially if you don't have much that you're doing in Kenya or in Africa, wherever you're watching from. It's a great job. And it has opportunities for advancing your career or life, or even building up your family. I would certainly encourage a young person who is of age to come to the UK if you can. Nowadays it's a bit harder. It still happens, but it's a bit harder to join the British Army. There's also an opportunity to join the Navy, but you have to be able to swim to join the Navy. Yep.
Like how long? Because I know it's like in the US it's like, I don't know, a mile, to run a mile and a half and a minute or 2 minutes. What is yours?
So when I joined at that time, the test was it's called a personal fitness test assessment or something like that. It was you needed to run a mile and a half in 10 minutes. You can't do it in a minute or two. Actually, the record is about 6 or 7 minutes. But they're a bit lenient. A mile and a half in 10 and a half minutes. But over time, I think that has changed slightly. However, it's not hard. Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do
it.
Is there age limits?
Currently, I think the age limit has been pushed forward. When I joined, it was 32, but now I think it's 36. So you can join from any age from 18 to 36, male or female.
I hear there's a lot of mental and PTSD. How did you deal with that?
There is, but it depends really on what you experienced while you were in the army.
Yeah.
So the people who face the worst PTSD, anyone can face it, based on the experiences you had in combat. But the people who face the worst experiences are those who are on the front line, maybe the paras, the marines, or the infantry. Or if for any reason you found yourself in a firefight or something, you could have an issue with that. But I think there is support, because I did not experience any of that, thanks to God. There is support in the army, when you're out of the army, to deal with that.
Yeah. Do you normally get financial support because you served?
No, it doesn't work like that in the UK. The system is quite tight in terms of what you get after you leave. However, you're entitled to a university degree. When I was there, when you do 6 years, there was a system where you could go and further your education after you leave.
Yeah.
And while during your resettlement period, when you decide to leave, they'll give you some sort of training. But in terms of financial assistance, they don't give you any unless you have done the full term, which is 22 years. They give you a pension, and I think there's an amount of money you get when you do 12 years.
So you don't qualify like for houses? I mean, like, you know, like in US, you qualify for houses, mortgages, zero depots. I mean, there's a lot of those benefits. I don't know, what are some of the benefits?
So when I was there was a help to buy scheme that the army had introduced. I mean, if you talk about that, it was not really exclusive to the army. They will give you a certain amount for your deposit, but it was not like a handout or a grant. It was a loan which you pay.
You pay back.
That is it, really. They don't give you any like financial benefits in terms of buying houses and all that.
Yeah.
However, while you are in the army, within your career, you will be given housing, which was much highly subsidized, almost free, like. So that perhaps is the benefit while you're in the service. But when you leave, you're pretty much on your own.
Yeah. So life outside army now, how is it?
It is what you make of it.
Yeah.
And what you had prepared for, because nothing is given to you freely in this country. You have to work for it. And I cannot speak for everyone. If you had some sort of plan when you left, i.e. like a career to pursue, it helps a lot. But I wouldn't say it's bad. It would be bad to paint that picture, because I know there are people in Kenya who are struggling much, a lot. By the time you leave the army, 9 out of 10 times you have a British passport, and that entitles you to, in case you didn't have an education, to have an education or to get any line of job that you require.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
What are some of the, what are some other challenges outside now, challenges or joys being in UK?
So, you know, as I said, I speak for myself. I'm forever grateful to come into the UK, because it was an opportunity for me, and I managed to do a few things here and there by being in the UK. However, there are challenges, like any other country. One of the biggest challenges, I guess, is to be able to settle down, especially for those who are coming in the last few years, because especially in this side of the UK where we live, near London, things are quite expensive. And to get by, you have to have a good job, or at least you have to be a couple who's working. Otherwise, you struggle financially. That's one of the biggest challenges. There are other challenges that people face, like they would say there is an element of racism or discrimination here and there. It's not as bad, I would say, like America. There are issues, spots here and there, but people make do with what they have, and I've seen a lot of people do well in this country. Whereas there are challenges, I think they're not enough to stop you from doing what you want to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow. The issue of seeing the cup half full than half empty.
Of course, because I mean, there are people who have it much worse than we do. We do not assume that there are no things or ignore what challenges we face. But I always say this, especially when I'm speaking to somebody watching from Kenya who is less privileged. I will not discourage somebody to come to this country if you don't have anything you're doing. However, if you've got your life going in the UK, you've got a job paying you like 100K plus, I would recommend you stay and build yourself in Kenya. It's easier to do that. But if you don't have anything you're doing and you need a break in your life, of course, come and let's hustle together.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Your last thoughts?
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm a Christian. And I mean, all the best to whoever is watching. Don't give up. Some of us, as I would say, we've come from very far. We didn't have rich uncles, rich aunties. As I said earlier, I'm the first one in my country, in my family to come here. And so far I have my 2 sisters here, so who have managed to bring. And therefore I'm not where I started. What I can tell you, don't give up on life. If you have a dream, pursue the dream. Don't let anyone bring you down, and don't look at yourself too much. If you believe in God, trust in that God will open a door for you and make things work for you. And if it worked for me, it will work for you as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching us, and thank you, sir, for your time here. May God bless you in your endeavors.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time and your encouragement. I believe somebody here will be moved and inspired towards the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you, our viewers, for watching us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you appreciate our content, and you can also push the button that is written join, so that you can be paying some small fee, either $1 or $2, $5, so that you can uplift the work that we are doing. And also you can use Lemfi, which is the best app to send money back home if you're in diaspora. And by the way, you can send money also from Kenya to here. You can use shilling to shilling, or dollar to dollar, or pound to pound, etc. So use my code Mkenya Marekani, and may God bless you. Tuonane baadaye. Just say who you want us to bring on the comment section. God bless you.